In the last couple of years, I have become a shrinker. This is appalling to me. I have never been a jumper shrinker. I have always looked after my knitwear meticulously. And I've got to be honest with you, I don't know what's happened. Do you remember when you used to shrink crisp packets in the oven when you were little and make key rings out of them? That's what this tank top looked like. I was going to give it to the dog, and my dog's really small. My children found it hilarious, and I don't know whether that's funny or not, to be honest. Are they psychos? So let's put the holly up. It's like Floristry 101 here. That's as advanced as it's going to get. And I love it. It's not ideal to say, yeah, can we just hold that thought, guys? I need to go and have a bath. Hello and welcome to this week. I hope you're not as poorly as I am. This Saturday I am outside the deli in Golden Square in Petworth, serving crumble pots and mulled wine and mulled cider, as the Christmas cracker event was sort of postponed last week due to Storm Dara. So I have shifted everything from last weekend to this weekend, and I know that a lot of other shopkeepers are thoroughly looking forward to welcoming you all this weekend. Let's get decorating. So I've had one of those situations where I've pulled open a box, had no idea what was in it, and no idea why I saved what it is that I saved, but that I'm really glad I did. So last year I put some plastic wreaths that are usually not plastic, but they're not real foliage, and I used them to decorate the outside of the deli, and I put them in the same box as some holly, some fresh holly that I had also used to decorate the deli. And I think what I'd done, because the non-real wreaths were just stuffed in there, I think what I'd done is I put them in there to store with the holly. Maybe I brought the holly home from the deli thinking, oh, I'll use that at home, and I forgot it was in there. So the wreaths are fine, they're fine, so I'll take those down to the deli. The holly isn't sort of fresh and it's very brittle, but I love how it looks now. So let me show you it. I don't know whether you can see it fully. If I put it there in front of my face. So it's got this quite pale green foliage, and the berries have gone almost like the colour of sloes. You know, when you go out and you can see sloe berries on the or that you used to make gin on the hedgerows, and it's quite beautiful. It's quite pale green, and the berries are incredibly dark, and I love it. It's got that sort of dark academia aesthetic that I absolutely love. And some years I need things to be brighter than others, but this year I'm feeling incredibly cosy. So I don't mind the whole palette being ever so slightly darker. So I'm using claret ribbons on the candles and not sort of pale pinks or pale blues, that sort of thing. So this is going to work really well. I'm going to lay them across the mantle here, I'll show you, and then decorate that. I've still got another one of these garlands to put on there, so I'll do that. I don't quite know why I missed it out. I think I went on the school run and then I just didn't put that one up. Anyway, I'm focusing on this space right now, so it will get done. So let's put the holly up. So I'm starting the process using fresher foliage, and these are some of the branches that I got from the Christmas tree farm a couple of weeks ago. You can buy them, these offcuts in bundles, and they're perfect. And I think I bought 3 bundles in total, and I bought 2 for the house, 2 for the cottage, and 1 for the deli, I think. So simple. I am going to just lay this on here. It's a very, very narrow sort of hearth. What with this mantelpiece, like mantel shelf. So there isn't much to work with. And if the branches are too wide, as you can see, you get these little branches here that just sort of push them off. And I want them to lay quite securely because I don't want to use much at all to keep them in place. So I cut off the ones that are pushing it off, and then I use these as fillers. So that would go just there and it would sit there quite the thing. I'm now going to fill all of this along here with those branches and then decorate it or top it with the holly to give the sort of two-tone green. So let's do that. One other small branch goes here. So I take the end of it that way and I tuck it in there like that. So it pops up here and therefore fills a gap there. And then it fills this space there. It's like floristry 101 here. That's as advanced as it's going to get. And any florist, it's probably not even that, I realise. Okay, so I've got a longer one here that I started to tuck down here. And then I can see that this one here may, the weight of it, may pull the whole thing off. And I don't want that. But I do quite like this hanging. So if I tuck it in there like that, and then it sort of causes some friction. It's all a balancing act. So then I've got that there, which I quite like. Moving along. It's all right. I can make a gap there. That's fine. I don't mind doing that because then I can fill it with these two that I just cut off. And I've almost done. And I've still got some gaps that I can fill with decorations. People sort of get intimidated by working with natural foliage because they think they have to be a florist. I'm not a gatekeeper. I hope that has come across already. I am not a florist and I know that has come across. I think we're under enough pressure at this time, so there is no pressure. But I just wanted to break down the process of a very simple evergreen garland. Okay, so I'm going to add the holly now. I'm going to snip it away from the branches and again just place it on the top like an accent. I'm going to lay them like that. There's one there. There's one there. Just a little bit of height there as the rest of the garland is laying quite flat. And then another piece there that's tucked under that bit there. I'm going in the other direction that way, like that. There we are. I've laid the holly on top of the other green foliage, just as an accent. So before I decorate the mantle, what I thought I'd do is just hang this little bunch up. This was the mistletoe that I bought at the Christmas tree farm, and I've just popped some holly around it as well. And a big sort of red satin bow. And this is the ribbon that I'm using down at the deli also, because I had quite a lot left. And I love, I love a blue red as opposed to an orange red. So this is going to go up here. I don't know whether you can see it properly. Hold on. Ah. I think it's in the middle. So here's how it's looking so far. It's quite sweet up there. So this is not real. This is definitely plastic, but this is going to go all the way over there. I did squish it in. Where there's a will, there's a way. I squished it. I said, you will stay there. So what I've done is I've popped it into the little nook along there, along the beam. And I've twisted it around the ends of the pelmet. And what I've done now is sort of pulled out little select branches and twisted them over the edge here like that. And then I can decorate all of these, and that gives the look and the effect that I'm after. It's a few days later. In fact, it's Thursday morning, and this is going live Thursday evening. And I started to decorate this area on Sunday afternoon, and then I got really, really poorly. And I've still had lots of other bits to do for this coming weekend and with the business and this and that. And everything slowed down. It was bad. And then I heard that there was this huge influx of people being admitted to hospital this past week with flu, like proper flu. So I get it. This has been a bad one, but I'm feeling so much better. I'm still blocked up and I'm still really slow, but at least I can remember my name. So I'm back in the entrance hall now, just by my little cosy book nook chair. And I'm going to put lights up because it's Christmas. Because this area looks a lot darker in these vlogs than it is in real life. It's very cozy. It's not as dark, and certainly in the summer it's glorious because when I open the front door, the light just, it's amazing. It's a lovely space. But I do need some lights over and above the window here, where I've put that, I've squished the garland. That's a technical term. So I'm working with these lights here. These are my favourite type of light. And I realised when I put the lights up around the bookcase behind the chair here, the lights, I was never quite sure about them, but they'd taken me a while to put up and I didn't want to change them, which is a silly thing really, because I realised that the lights that I'd put up there, when was it? Was it September or October? They have a green tinge to them, whereas these don't. These are truly warm white lights. And I knew that sort of back there somewhere in my subconscious, and I knew that I wasn't happy with them, but I just didn't have the wherewithal to change them. And now I'm putting these up along the garland, so I'm going to have two different types of, I'm changing the lights around the bookcase. That's the upshot. I'm going to turn them off. I'll change them at some point, and I'm going to hang two strings of these because they're quite thin and there aren't many lights on them. Oh dear. I put the lights up around the window, or along the top of the window, and now I'm laying some lights along the mantelpiece. I should have done this before I put the garland up, I understand that, but I hadn't found these lights then. So it's all a little bit back to front. But it's Christmas, yeah. Nothing's meant to go right at Christmas, let's be honest. It's actually a little bit easier than I thought. I'm so used to dealing with those hops, with the hops garlands, where they literally, you just look at them and they all crumble. This is actually a lot easier. I feel like I'm a bit of a pro now. So the lights are along there, and now I'm going to add some baubles. I've got pale green. I'm not going to hang them. I'm just going to put them in like that. And I've got some pale gold. They're just going to sort of sit in there fairly haphazardly. Different sizes. But the thing I love about baubles is that unless they're matte, they reflect the light, which is why they always look so glorious on a Christmas tree, because you've got the lights and the twinkles and, you know, all of that. It's all about light. Everything is about light and energy. It's all light and energy. Oh, and I'm going to add some ribbons to the stars that I've put at the window. And then I think we're almost there. But don't tell anyone. It's one of those lovely winter days, so I'm going to get out and get some fresh because I feel like I've not been out for days. I have, but not really. So I thought I'd take you on a tour of my jumpers. I have lots of questions, certainly over on TikTok, about where I get my jumpers from. So I thought I'd take you through a little tour of the main ones that I wear and where I got them from. None of this is sponsored. I've bought all of these and most of these are at least 2 to 3 years old, but I look after them as much as I can. In the last couple of years, I have become a shrinker. This is appalling to me. I have never been a jumper shrinker. I have always looked after my knitwear meticulously. And I've got to be honest with you, I don't know what's happened because, well, I tell you actually, and this was the most heartbreaking one. I had a tank top from Brora and I scooped up a big load of, I think it was towels or like tracksuit bottoms, and this tank top from Brora was caught up in it. Oh, and then when I pulled that wash out and literally the tank top was this big. Do you remember when you used to shrink crisp packets in the oven when you were little and make key rings out of them? That's what this tank top looked like. I was going to give it to the dog and my dog's really small. I could have cried. My children found it hilarious and I don't know whether that's funny or not, to be honest. Are they psychos? Anyway, let me just tell you the reason why I wear so many jumpers. It does get cold in this country. I mean, not super cold. We're not Canada. I'm a huge fan of Cecilia from Svalbard, an island close to the North Pole. I love her. I don't live there. And what's her name? Is it Jonna Jinton? Jonna? Oh, I don't know. But I love her as well. I think these women are amazing. So we have quite mild winters. The reason I wear so many jumpers is because this cottage is cold. And I don't cope with cold very well. I have a cold, but I don't cope with being cold very well. If I go past a certain point of being cold, it is impossible, I promise you this is true. If I go past a certain point of being cold, it is impossible for me to warm up unless I have a bath. The bath has to be absolutely piping hot and I have to lay in it until I've warmed up. I can't sit by a fire, I can't sit by like a radiator or a heater. If I'm bone cold, the only thing that warms me up is a bath. So I try to avoid that happening during the day when I have to work, because it's not ideal to say, yeah, can we just hold that thought, guys? I need to go and have a bath. No, it doesn't go down well with my team, funnily enough. But I try to avoid that. So I layer. So I wear thermals. I get them from like Marks and Spencer's, and also I get the heat tech ones from Uniqlo because they're very thin, and I have to wear them under sweaters, and the sweaters that I wear aren't always baggy. A baggy sweater is amazing and I love it, but baggy sweaters and baggy jeans don't always make me feel good. I feel just sort of quite baggy, and sometimes I like to dress I like my jumpers to be slightly dressier than just the baggy ones. I like baggy. There's a place for baggy in my life, a big place. But sometimes, say in this case, with this one from, and this is from LK Bennett, and this is a Christmas jumper. I need it to be a bit more fitted. So if I'm wearing, which I am, a layer underneath, it has to be really, really thin, because what I don't like, and it's like I'm asking too much of these jumpers, I realise this, is I don't like to feel uncomfortable or constrained or like something's twisted. There's a method in all of this. I know you guys just wanted to see my jumpers, and here I am taking you through like every detail. So let's begin. Like I said, this one is from LK Bennett. I don't know what happened to LK Bennett. I don't see them as much on the high street. I think there's still an LK Bennett at Bicester. So are they online anymore? I don't know. I loved LK Bennett, like truly loved it. I got a gorgeous cardigan from LK Bennett. I've had several sweaters from LK Bennett. I had dresses, that I loved, truly loved. I had shoes, jewellery. So what happened to LK Bennett? Does anybody know? Anyway, this is one of my favourites. It's really thin, it's wool, it's got this lovely little cuff detail here and the collar detail there. And I love, love, love the colour. Yeah, I think I bought it in August one time at Bicester, and I bought it specifically for it to be a Christmas sweater. And I love that. I love it when you buy something months ago and then you months before, and then you get it out and it's like, oh, I've got this. It's like a little treat. So this one is LK Bennett. Okay, so this one is a new purchase, and this one is from Uniqlo. It's stretchy, but it's wool. It does bobble, which is fine. It's not too bad. And I could treat the bobbles. I need to just get one of those little things from Amazon that treats them. I just haven't gotten around to it yet, that's all. This is my favourite jumper in the world at the moment. It's stretchy, like I said, it's baggy, but not too baggy. It can sort of be, it's not smart, but I don't feel like a complete loser in it either. I love the colour. It comes in various colours. I think this was £29.95 from Uniqlo. It's like 2 months old. I've worn it to death already. It's really easy to wash and dry. That's all really. I just really like the colour. It goes well with my jeans. Oh, and I love the sort of crew neck here. I think it's called the souffle jumper. But I'll leave a link to it below. It's not sponsored or anything like that. I just love it. It's so cosy. So cosy. One of my favourites. I'll show you what it looks like full length. I don't know whether I've set the camera up correctly for this, but it's like that. It's like that. I've realised that it may be better for me just to hold the jumpers up so you can see them. You've seen me in them a million times already. So I am a huge, huge fan of a tank top. I love them. I've got this one here and this one here. So this one is a Ralph Lauren, and that is about 13 years old. My children are 14, and I got it when they were 1. And this Brora tank, I bought when I just went to Oxford a couple of weeks ago, well, during half term. And it was to replace the one that I shrunk. I shrunk that other one a year ago, and I was so upset with myself because they're not cheap sweaters. I mean, Brora is really spenny, and I just thought I've waited long enough for this, and I'm going to treat myself. And it's not something I do very often. I've got to be honest with you. I actually prefer the blue. The last one I had was sort of had some grey. It was quite grey and greeny. But like I said, I keep my stuff for a long time unless I shrink it. So that's those two. Moving on to cute jumpers. This one is the one that I have the most comments about. And it's this one. I bought this from a charity shop opposite the deli. Literally, it was £5 or something, or £7. I saw it, I saw that it was in my size, and I literally could not get up to the counter fast enough. I was delighted. It's by KEW 159, and it is my favourite jumper. It's that look at the pink. It's that wonderful sort of blue pink. It's got that feral style pattern around the neck and on the front. It is perfect. It is the perfect jumper. I love it, love it, love it. I did shrink it a tiny bit. I don't know why it didn't go all the way. It's not as comfortable as it was, and it's tighter. But yeah, the panic that set in when I took this out, and I thought, this isn't as stretchy as it used to be. And then I put it on and I was like, oh my gosh, you would have heard my screams from space, because it's my favourite and I've never seen it again. This is another one. This is my shroom. My shroom jumper. This is from Boden. And actually, my mum bought me this for Christmas a few Christmases ago. And I love this to bits. Absolutely love it. It came with a big sort of jewel necklace that you'll see me wearing. I've forgotten where it is. I think it's just upstairs. But you'll see me wearing that before Christmas because it's such a lovely Christmas necklace. And I love this one. It's slightly more autumnal, but it's not really autumnal colours. It's really bright. It's really cosy. And I love the Boden jumpers. Here's another Boden. I love the stripes on this, and I love the lilac and the purple. I think it's perfect, and it's got this sort of peachy apricot pattern in it. Yes, another Boden. I think I got this for my birthday from my mum. She knows I love a jumper. She knows I love the Boden jumpers. She kind of gets my style, so she got me this. It's very lightweight. It's good if I wear one of the thermals underneath it, but it's also perfect in sort of late August, September, if it's a little bit chillier, or maybe in the spring. So I wear jumpers all year round, unless it's boiling. So this is great because it's not too thick at all, and I love it. And then my Christmas jumper. Are you seeing, like, there's a variation on a theme here? They're all quite similar in the way they're patterned across the front there. But this one has sparkles. This is a white company, and again, I think my mum bought me this one too. She just keeps me in sweaters, to be honest with you. And I think this is 2 or 3 years old. And this is still intact. It's very soft, it's lightweight, but very, very warm, and I love it. That sort of soft grey, it's similar to this Uniqlo one. So that colour just happens to suit me. And then this one. Now this, it's inside out. This is my favourite. This is one of those sort of tabard ones that it's almost like a tank top but baggy. Can you see? It's like one big square with a funnel neck. I don't quite know. Oh, it's got a feather on it. I don't quite know what you call it. This is the White Company again, and I bought this in the sale last winter. So it was reduced from like well over 100 to about 60, I think. And I just knew that I could throw it on, I could do the school run, I could wear it at night time when it was chilly. That's perfect. That's gone super bobbly. So I do need to get something from Amazon to deal with the bobbles on all of my jumpers. But that's just one that I'll never let go. I love it so much. And again, so really it's a combination of White Company, Boden, I've got one tank from Brora, and Uniqlo. They're the people that I'm buying jumpers from at the moment, and my little one from LK Bennett, but I don't really see those stores very much anymore. I hope you've enjoyed this tour of my jumpers. I have done some clothing TikToks before, and I really loved them. So let me know if you'd like more of them, but I've just never really gone down that route fully. I've never fully committed to that in vlogs or TikToks or anything, but I do enjoy it. So let me know if you'd like some more, and I'll think about doing them a bit better than this. Just one more question that I will answer is the lip colour that I wear. So I wear a red lipstick pretty much every day of the year. I've worn red lipstick since I was a child. The first red lipstick I was ever bought was red. But I've certainly worn red lipstick since I was a teenager. I just love it, and I've always loved it. I wear a blue-red shade. And I've gone through myriad blue red lipsticks in my life, and I sort of stick to one for as long as it works for me. And occasionally I try others. At the moment, I'm using a Revlon. It's called Uncut Ruby and it's creme. So it's quite shiny, and I blot it and then I reapply it. And I use a lip liner. But this is the one I'm using at the moment. I don't know whether you can see it. Uncut Ruby by Revlon. So that's the one I'm using at the moment. If I change it, I'll let you know. I can link to that one below. And then my anklers this year are from Sainsbury's. I can go to 2 supermarkets when I'm on my school run. If I go to the supermarket when I'm doing a drop-off, I go to Sainsbury's. If I go to the supermarket, on pickup, I would go to Waitrose because it's the other way and we just go around in a big circle home. So I've got those 2 that they just happen to be geographically the closest to where I do my school run. And I try and fit everything in if I'm out and about on that school run, because it takes me 2 hours a day anyway, and I need to make that time as efficient as possible. So I got these ones from Sainsbury's. I saw them, they were soft, and I just like these because they were furry. And that's it. That's the science behind them. If they're furry, I'll have them. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. There will be another one on Sunday. So if you are near Petworth, then do come and say hello. I'll be in the square from about, I would think about 10:30, 11. That's how long it will take me to get set up.